so one has to go in here. But I have to move this. Or oh shit! Where this nigga come from? Where this nigga come from? Where this motherfucker come from?
Oh, this you crazy mother.
Well, I dodged. I hit the wrong button instead. I hit the wrong button instead of dodging. Jesus Christ. I come right now, because you got to watch out for that guy. If too much of those things come around, then your boy just come. Oh, hold on. I got this nigga. Your boy just come with the fucking with the two blades. Edward scissors.
Oh, okay, I know you're talking about.
Yeah. If too much enemies spawn in one. Oh shit, that sound like him now. See, he right behind you. Oh shit. I just call his name. I just call his name. This nigga like Candyman, man. What the fuck? Chess. Oh, is it your boy again? Yep, there he is. He right behind us again. Jesus Christ. Ooh, that hurt. Right, cool.
When he said that, reminded me of Herbert from Family Guy.
No, that's the wrong way.
Get your fat ass back here.
Oh, no. Please, no.
Did you just do?
What are you talking about?
Did you just do Herbert the pervert?
Yes, he did.
I have no idea what you're talking.
I was just wondering, where the newspaper boy was.
Fucking real bright outside.
Oh my god.
Like, just like Akora said, yes, men did make those laws, but that's why men made those laws in the first place. Because women need double the defense that a man gets. I'm not saying it's like basically not our own fault, because it is the way society has made it, but the problem is it's still like it's an imbalance to try to correct something and it makes it worse.
Yeah, because the main thing they should be doing is trying to fix the thing that's incorrect. It's like
we're trying to fix the imperfection by overcorrecting on the opposite end, and it kind of makes things worse.
Exactly.
You just keep on tilting the seesaw in the wrong direction.
Exactly. And the one thing that comes to mind is that thing that I put in my last video about them canceling Pepe Le Pew. Like it's
that's exactly why I brought it up, because it does kind of tie into that, because that's unfortunately the way we do things now. Instead of actually addressing it in a climate where we could talk about it, get to some type of point where we all agree on something and then try to move past it, we just, instead we're going to cancel it and try to put a complete stop to it, so we overcorrect and then we kind of do more damage than good, and not, like, in my opinion anyway.
No, I agree, because after I put that video out, because I had referenced what's his name, the guy Review Tech USA's video about it, and he said some things that I wish I had said in my video, and then I said it in a chat with some people. Well, no, I said it under a post on Facebook, and I said that, okay, look, like because all right, what Review Tech said, what Rich said was that the reason, like, people don't understand that, like, the whole joke with Pepe Le Pew, because the joke is that it wasn't the fact that he was like seriously coming on to the gal, like that was a part of the joke, that's one thing, but the whole joke was that, like, he was a skunk, and skunks smell bad. So I mean, like, it's in his name. Like, that's why Penelope Pussycat was trying to run away from Pepe Le Pew, because he stank, basically. What's happening now is that there's a lot of women who, like, going through all these, who've been through these different traumas, and they're like, oh, I remember this, like this is like this has happened to me, and I'm tired of like people doing things and not asking, like, permission, or being persistent in thinking whenever I already said no or something like that. And I'm like, but this isn't about that. Like how are y'all only looking at that one thing? Because there was a few times when there was a few times when Penelope Pussycat like was aggressive on Pepe Le Pew. When after Pepe Le Pew like went through some perfume or some fucking cologne or something, and he like started smelling good, then she'd be like all up on him the same way he was on it. There's couple
yeah,
there are a
but
couple
that
episodes
doesn't work
like
for the argument, so that gets totally
no,
flipped,
because
like
if anything that works against the argument, because now what they say is they'd be like,
that's
oh,
why nobody says anything about that.
they'd be like, oh, so it, like say so because it's like that, like because now you're saying that so a woman could do it too and blah blah blah. It doesn't give an excuse for thing for. I was like, oh my god. So, and the only thing they're saying is like, oh well, you're excusing this kind of behavior or
You
whatever
will
you're saying.
wait.
I was like, Jesus Christ.
Everyone.
Jesus Christ. Like it's
See,
weird. It's weird. It's fucking weird.
As a woman that's been through a lot of shit, like honestly, other women out there that try to pick every little thing that they think is offensive kind of ruins it for the rest of us that kind of been through that shit and realize it's just a cartoon. Like you don't need to be nitpicking at it like that. So
See, it's gonna go that way, but the problem with that, with the only cartoon thing, is because they're also using that to fight against the racist portrayal of black people too. Because how do you try to paint everything with the broad brush? Because the minute you try to use it's only a cartoon defense, they're gonna turn into, well, what about those blackface characters and stuff like that? So it always gonna go into this whole, well, because it was okay for this side to use it, it should be okay for us to use the thing. And the main thing is that should have never been the conversation to begin with. The conversation should have been, this is a cartoon from this time. It happened.
yeah,
We can make the character different from this point on, and it wouldn't have been an issue.
yeah. Cause
But the problem
On top
is,
of which-
people just want to fight, and that's all it is.
On top of which,
Yeah.
it was made to my attention. A good friend of mine told me that, she doesn't even like, and she thinks the same way I do on this issue with the whole, like, you see like how they doing all this shit with like they changing like the voice actors, and they say, oh, we only have black voice actors playing black people in cartoons now and shit like that. It's like I mean, they'd be like in your mind you'd be like, yeah, that still doesn't fix the issue though. The issue is we don't want the police to be killing us in the fucking streets. We don't want it to be like whenever we get pulled over by a police officer, we're afraid of our fucking life. That's the main issue that we're trying to get to. But the only thing you're
exactly it.
the only thing
That's
you're
the problem, because it's just like that same thing we was talking about earlier. Certain people already have the law on their side, especially a cop, because a cop automatically has the belief of the public when they tell a story. It has to be an extreme circumstance where a cop is considered to be lying to the point that the community starts to not like trust him. Because they just had a case that I was listening like on YouTube about like yesterday, where this cop completely made up this story about how he basically just walked up on this guy's car and shot him for no reason. He came up with this whole narrative of the reason why he shot and all that time, and if it wasn't for the fact that the guy was on the phone with the insurance agent at the time, everybody would have just ran with whatever the cop said, and it would have been fine. But the fact that the lady who basically was on the line at the same time when it happened recorded the whole thing and had the line like basically going while the cop basically just walked up on the guy, asked him a question, and just started shooting at him. That's the only reason there was even any proof that the cop lied. So you have those circumstances where things are already skewed the moment the public hear it because of who's involved and stuff like that, and that's where things become an issue, because it's supposed to be about the content or whatever happened and all that type of stuff and how it's being received and stuff like that, but that's not what people look at. People come with their own preconceived notions, and then they try to use that to inform every other decision when they might not even have a fully like fleshed out idea of what actually was going on in the situation to begin with.
really reloading now. I see where you're coming from though.
There's nothing
Yeah.
on the game.
Oh shit.
No, my screen on the
Oh,
screen is
Okay, now he's moving. Okay, I get it, Eddie.
Leanne, no, I'm sorry.
Are you?
I thought you was one of the roots. I don't like this ammo. I thought you was one of the roots. I shot you because
Right.
Don't worry. I would have shot her too if I was you.
I thought you was one of the roots.
You.
I am
You're
so
talking-
sorry. Don't eat yourself off the map again, Michelle.
The floor just disappeared under my feet. I was literally walking across it and the floor disappeared.
And I caught that on camera. I caught that on stream.
I did. I saw that on the stream. As soon as you were telling him to like be careful, I was so fucking
Bomber job, Daniel!
well, there you go. There you can have your highlight of the night.
It is now time to begin the discussion of who is taking the vaccine and why.
Yeah, well, yeah. Who's taking the vaccine? Why not?
Why are they not taking? Why are they taking it? Why are they ain't taking it? Let me fix.
And the why now will probably lead to a bunch of propaganda. Their friends shared them on Facebook /WhatsApp /
Yes,
whatever.
yes. Those of you who are watching, please do not hesitate to share your thoughts in the chat. I will read them out to these guys, and we will let them. We want to know. We want to know what y'all think about it too. So,
Yes, please share your propaganda that I may dismantle it wholly and fully. Please.
while you hear that, let me tell you what some people have already said.
Lord Jesus, help me.
Okay, Coco242 says my immunization card is already full. I don't know why people acting like they never got vaccinated a day in their life. I am not taking these first rollouts, but I will take it after some time has passed. That's what she said. Okay.
That's a fair statement.
Okay.
That's a fair statement.
All right. Someone else said something. Well, Soleil Moncor, she said that she's definitely taking it because she works with kids and kids are filthy. That's what she said.
I mean, that's just the truth.
Yes, that's the honest to God truth. Before we begin anything, all right, I have to state my case, all right? And me and Michonne already discussed this piece, but then we decided to hold off, all right?
Go on.
I am definitely taking the vaccine. This is not a question because I am working. I want to go back to working, and I'm a magician and a balloon artist. I definitely want to be taking this vaccine because I mean, fuck, I need it. I wanna be able to go back to work. I want to be able to like go and do balloons and magic again. And in order for me to do that, I have to be around people. You know, I can't have them picking a card and they scared that they can catch COVID from the fucking card, or doing the coin magic or doing sponge balls and then me doing the balloons. I can't have that. I am definitely taking the vaccine.
Maybe you should shuffle your vaccination card in the deck.
Stell, what's your thoughts on the vaccine? What are you doing?
Like I said, it goes without saying that I'm going to be taking the vaccine. In fact, I'm probably literally the only person at work who's actually looking forward to taking the vaccine so that I can get back to some semblance of normalcy. Most Bahamians are resistant to it because they're always resistant to anything new / different. So a lot of them are saying they're not going to take it, but even if the government doesn't make it a mandatory requirement, there's going to be societal pressure that forces them to take it, i.e. when they find out they can't go to Miami / Orlando to bulk shop unless they take it, then you better fucking believe they're going to take it in a heartbeat. Most jobs are not going to accept you unless they've seen you taking the vaccine. Most countries are going to bar you from entry unless you can provide documentation that you've taken the vaccine. So even for everybody who claims they're not going to be able to take the vaccine, societal pressure will slowly begin to mount as time goes on, and you realize that if you don't take the vaccine, you will be basically shut out from society, from just being able to exist in society as a normal, quote-unquote normal person, if you decide not to take it. So I'm not too concerned about that.
Let Leanne go first because I have to turn my asshole off to give a very good explanation. So.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. All right.
My thing is probably somewhat similar to what me and him has agreed. We're not going to get it yet. We do plan on getting it, but with all the stuff that's going on with like all the rumors, all the called morph into DNA and all this other stuff that's going on, we're just going to basically wait, or me basically going to wait until all of that blows over and we get a definite answer on what the vaccine is going to be about. Okay. And then I will get it.
Which vaccine is available to you?
Honestly, I don't know. I never really looked it up. That's what I was
I'm
It's the Pfizer and the Johnson and Johnson.
That's right.
Doing
That's
the
what I wanted.
AstraZeneca.
Right, that's what I wanted to know. Wait, is it Johnson & Johnson or AstraZeneca? Because those are two different.
No, the Johnson and Johnson. I think the AstraZeneca, they might be doing a similar one here, but I don't think that's the one they're doing here because that one I think is, since that's the one from India, I don't think they're accepting any ones from a different country yet. They're doing the
That's
Johnson and Johnson and the Pfizer.
Okay.
That's what I said.
Sean says, I don't feel as though enough time has passed for this test fluid, and he uses air quotes for test fluid, to be considered as a viable source of a fight against this virus.
He's not wrong, but not. I mean, he's a nurse, so he should know better than I do, if anything, that the coronavirus, like a lot of people are under the assumption that they just basically like whipped up a vaccine like from scratch in like less than a year, which is simply not true. Most pharmaceutical companies were working on a version of a coronavirus vaccine because it did exist before this whole pandemic thing started. But it was a low priority thing for them, so it's not like they were working on it around the clock. But now that it has become such a pressing issue with the new strain that's come about, there's obvious, even if it's only a monetary incentive, there's an obvious reason for them to come up with this vaccine as quickly as possible. But they already had a baseline by which to work with because they were already working on a vaccine for the coronavirus. All that had to be done is for them to adapt it to this new strain and to go from there. So like a lot of people are under the impression that they just came up with this shit from scratch in like 9-10 months. That's just simply not true.
Okay. The way I feel about that is the thing what Del said about everyone thinking that they just came up with the vaccine in less than a year or whatever. The way I feel about it is I've heard someone say something along the lines of there's
Eddie, you're not in the game.
I am in the game. I'm shooting shit.
Yeah, I'm right next to him.
Okay, that's weird.
Yeah, you and Dell spawned in 2 different locations.
Oh shit! I just realized that. No, yeah. Del way over.
Yeah, you're
all right,
right
so
underneath him, you
I've heard that there's been lots of advances in science that makes things available, but that makes it available for scientists to be able to come up with vaccines in less than the time people would, So the fact that a person would just outright say, oh, I can't trust that because it's been less than a year, and it's like, oh shit, no. It's been less than a year and we already have a what the fuck, no. Wow, ragdoll physics. I am down already, shit.
What?
Yes. Jesus. So it's saying that they're saying that they I was saying that because of the advances in science,
What
they should.
are you people doing?
Because of the advances in science, people are fucking able to make these vaccines as quickly as possible, like quicker than they used to. Because it's like, why do you think that science is not evolved enough, like hasn't gotten far enough so where people can actually do these things, like to make vaccines in a limited amount of time? Like isn't that something that you would want? And now that you'd want that, now you're just given a reason to like not trust it because that's what it is. It's like it's weird, you know what I'm saying? To me, that's just my idea of it. Rashano says science is an evidence-based practice, and being that there is no sufficient evidence that this thing works efficiently without causing severely adverse side effects or death, I'm not willing to take the risk.
Him as a nurse should know better than to say something like that, because even with the AstraZeneca vaccine that like several countries in the EU have halted the use of because of a couple of incidents where there were severe blood clots and like literally a handful of patients, like less than 10, and maybe 2 died from severe blood clots a day later. We're talking nearly 30 million people who took this vaccine. 2 died. It's not even conclusive that they died as a result of taking the vaccine, but even if we want to say for the sake of argument that they died as a result of taking the vaccine, it is literally 2 out of 28 million. And while it is unfortunate that they died, I'm saying this with the assumption that people are gonna make that they died because they take this vaccine. 2 out of 28 million. I mean, Jesus fuck. You can't really beat those odds.
I see where you're coming from.
Are you ready for me to give that explanation?
Yes. Be sure and give your explanation. Let me hear what you have to say.
So, like I said, I have my reason for and I have my reason against.
Yeah,
I'm both cases, mine is being not taken. Now, my selfish reason is simply because, just like Rashano said, I don't think they did sufficient enough testing in order to roll out these different things. Because when you have something that you're supposed to be combating, and yes, there are different strains of the virus, so it makes sense to have different vaccines. I don't understand why they have collective groups coming up with their own version of the vaccine without no type of like cooperative like joint effort to try to make sure that this vaccine counters everything. Because the way they have it set up, there's a lot of different vaccines being given out. There's a lot of different people who they don't know how it's going to affect them, and there's no safety measures in place for people who it adversely affects. So yes, there might be a small number of people that have bad reactions to it, but at the same time, there should also be measures in order for that to be accounted for and remedied before it results in a fatality.
Okay.
Now, my selfless reason for being against it is because in the event that this like vaccine is being used to help like everybody get back to normal and there's a shortage in the demand, there should be a priority on who gets it.
Yeah.
And the main priority should be the most vulnerable, the people who have to be in like hospitality like things, like how Dell works, people who have to work with food, nurses, and all the people who have no way of avoiding being in contact with people like me who can work on their computers from home, or who has little to no contact with people in everyday capacity, don't really need to be on the first line of getting the vaccination quite yet, simply because we don't really have the demand to meet everybody getting it right now.
That's true. And the I think one of the main things. Well, okay. Well, y'all put pretty good points. Y'all put pretty good points, because the things that I don't want to hear is about the fucking how people is be like, I don't know. And honestly, if anyone watching this stream knows anyone who is an anti-vaxxer, please share the stream with them, because I'd like to talk to them and get their view on this whole thing, because I don't understand this. Like, everyone has these different conspiracy theories as to why they shouldn't take the vaccine. Like the most insane, sorry to cut you off, the most insane one that I've ever heard is the one where they saying like it's an entire conspiracy because of this population control thing that Bill Gates is doing, and that like Bill the vaccine is actually a microchip hidden inside of it so that they can like monitor people and stuff. And I'm like my whole argument against people who say that they're being monitored is, if you have a cell phone, you can't talk to me. If you have a cell phone or a PC or a smart TV, you can't talk to me. You cannot talk to me. You can't say anything. If I see you,
anything that's connected to the internet.
Huh?
I said basically anything that's connected to the internet.
Yeah. If you have any ties to the internet at all, you can't say nothing to me. It don't make any sense. Like where is this whole thing coming from? Like, where are they coming up with this? It boggles my mind, babe. It really does.
Out they ass.
It's mainly because all you have to do is put something in the air to stoke fear, and it works. Because you gotta understand, the root of all our conversation is one simple thing: no country really trusts their government. No matter what you say, there's always a part of you that's skeptical of the way the government operates, no matter how good you think your country is, simply because you already know that they don't tell you everything.
It's true.
And when it comes down to the government having your back in times of crisis, most people don't expect that, because just like now, a bunch of people in the country, especially in like our countries, the Bahamas and America, are having this thing where they're realizing that when push comes to shove and shit starts to really go bad, government isn't really able to uphold everybody equally. So now there's this building distrust on top of this virus that nobody really knows like where it came from, Nobody really knows exactly if it was something that was manufactured or if it's something that occurred naturally in nature. So there's already a distrust being built on top of whatever else is compounded on with it. So all somebody has to do is bring out a substantial enough rumor, and people gravitate to it because we don't really know what's going on behind the scenes on the world's stage.
Yeah,
that's
true.
why people can make up these things about these secret societies bringing out these different things and all that type of stuff, because all you need to do is sow enough distrust and people start to gravitate to it, because what other answers do they have?
Taylor says risk outweighs the benefits. Be real if you have acid reflux. Your doctor offers you a pill and says the side effects are severe: chest pain, vomiting, extreme headache, and a small chance of death.
I'm drinking milk. Screw all that.
Yeah.
I like pills as it is.
I'd rather have shit than,
You'd rather
die.
have what?
I'd rather have the shits than die.
Yeah, I see where you come from with that. See,
Yeah,
I'd
but
rather...
that's what a lot of it is. That's why I think a lot more people are skeptical. Because even when I heard how fast they made the vaccine, I was one of the first people to be like, nah, unless they was actually planning for this thing to get released, there's no way they should have the vaccine that fast. Simply because they've been talking about the second wave and the third wave for the longest time. If they really had a vaccine that they really trusted, they would have people collaborate to try to make sure it worked before I think they have 4 and 5 different versions. That doesn't make sense. I've never heard them when they have the flu vaccine talk about, okay, you can get this flu vaccine or that flu vaccine and stuff like that. They usually just say they want you to get the flu vaccine. Now, whether that's a different vaccine or not, they usually don't advertise it. You would have to really inquire to find out.
For all the hours we put our lives at risk for our government. Roshano says, I am a nurse that has worked so many hours to try and help those affected. I got a thank you and a pat on the back, and did anyone realize that there was no further mention of us being paid? Wow.
We're just fucked up.
It's pretty fucked up that people life on the line ain't getting the recognition. And
But
stuff
see,
like
that's why I say that's the selfless part of my reason why I don't want to get it yet, because there are people who would make sense that they should have priority.
They should have it
Because
first.
you're a
Yeah.
nurse and
I was
You
under
need
the,
it.
I was under the assumption, the extreme assumption, that the people in the medical sector was going to be the first to get it.
Well, see, that's what I was under the impression of too. But then it turns out they wanted to get the older persons vaccinated first, which I'm not saying that that's a bad idea, but they can stay their old ass soon. I mean, they can wait.
Oh my god, that used to that.
Yeah, I know it comes across like fucked up, yeah, but at the same time, they don't need to be outside yet. You know what it is?
That is true. I agree
Especially
with that.
if you're retired. I mean, come on.
And if you all want some humor on that, I suggest watching the new South Park
Yeah, the
episode.
South Park episode was kind of funny about it too.
Yeah.
Well, of course, it's South Park, so.
But I mean, that's what the whole premise is with that, which is still kind of one of those things where it comes down to whether you trust it or not. Because like I said, I don't understand why there's 3 and 4 different versions of it. And I just don't like the fact that the way it's being administered.
You do?
I do.
Why?
Money! Everybody wanted to be the first out the door, so everybody worked on it independently of everybody else. Since I forget who, but since it was either Moderna or Pfizer who was first out the door, the rest was like, okay, let's try to get ours as cheap as possible and sell it that way. Why do you think Johnson & Johnson got approved so quick?
Okay. Roshano says, I am on the priority list and I am on the priority list and I will not. I'm sorry, my body, my choice, and I have not been infected for a year plus now. Though through following the same practices of proper sanitation, face masks have kept me.
That's all well and good, and like you said, that is his choice. But he's probably going to face mounting pressure that if he doesn't take the vaccine.
Yeah, just because of the field that he's in. Yeah, I can see
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So eventually he will probably have to, whether or not he realizes it or whether he likes it or not, he's probably gonna have to make the choice between taking the vaccine or losing his job.
That's if it comes to that. Do you think it'll come to that?
No, it's gonna come to that because the problem is, in his field, he's around so many people that might be vulnerable that they might kind of try to make it
I know
manageable.
this is gonna happen.
So I could see that being an issue, especially if it comes to the fact that some nurse infects the patient or someone who already was vulnerable.
Exactly. Like, I'm a hotel worker, for Christ's sake, and if my place of business doesn't require me to take the vaccine, the corporation that it falls under will.
Sean says, Sean answers and says, what you were saying with Del, Del, what you were saying, Sean answers and says, I'm sure I will.
I want to hear it.
I'm sure I will, but like I said, by the time that comes, there should be better statistics and more conclusive results.
I don't think it's going to be as soon as he thinks. I think they're going to require him to take it. I think they're going to require him to take it a lot sooner than he's comfortable with.
You think so?
I mean, I mean, he's literally on the front lines of this shit. Yes, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, only because he's in the medical profession, that might be why they try to force it.
100%.
It's just too
100%.
Especially if you're in an emergency ward or something like that, where it's like every day, or maybe not every day, but it's probably like 6 days out of the week.
Yeah. I see where you go.
Yeah, that's probably what's gonna end up happening.
I do have a question for Shano though, since he's in the chat, he's being very vocal.
Yeah.
Are they giving people in your field any updates on the progress of the vaccine at all? Seeing that you are in the medical profession, like, are you just supposed to take this like everybody else is and just wait until it's something that's put out in the media?
I'll wait for him to answer that, but I have an idea of an answer, because what they're doing is they're updating everyone via the news as to like you know where the how far it is from getting here. They're actually here now, and I think they're gonna be updating. The Prime Minister is gonna be like making an update as to who gets it first and all that other shit. Because I think we have like 200,000 now.
We do?
Yeah, 200,000 came out.
Gotcha.
So yeah, it was. I was following that from Facebook time, but we have like 200,000 of them of the things there.
Under the impression that, I saw his answer.
Yeah, he just answered. He said we get no
under the
special
impression
updates.
that the medical profession people would get inside updates so that they could be better informed on whether or not they have to get their families vaccinated and stuff like that. And since they're in the field, they have a better understanding than the average person. Because I know they might be saying something in the media. I don't understand the first thing about medical processes. So I wouldn't really know exactly what certain things would mean unless it's being explained while they're explaining it on the media.
Taylor says out there, y'all think family is important. There's a priority list. Rashano replies, only if you know somebody who knows somebody. Trust me, they are being very close-lipped about this. Okay.
So how is this being divvied? Because it doesn't make sense that you vaccinate one island at a time when people are being like. I understand Nassau is the most densely populated, but you still have people that are being afflicted, and they are promoting tourist travel to the family islands until Nassau gets a better handle on it. So it would make sense to make sure that at least the medical professionals in the family islands also get priority too. Which I haven't heard in the news at all every time I've heard the Nassau news, so that's why I was asking.
But this has been an interesting discussion. Do you guys in the chat, well, I know a lot of people must have gone to bed, but if y'all like this kind of stuff, because like I said, I wanted to try something new. I wanted to like try talking about like real world stuff like while we play, you know, just for fun, you know. Well, not for fun, but like for the seriousness of it, because this is an actual issue that affects everyone in the world. So I think this is something that has to be discussed. And Rashano, I had spoken to Sean a while ago. Sean was like, he wanted to be here for this, which I'm glad he is. But yeah, we could like do stuff like this, like on Sundays where we talk about real shit, you know. Because I you know, make it something like informative and all that stuff. So if you guys like this kind of stuff, y'all just let me know, and I'll see what I can do on my end to make sure that it stays up. What I was hoping for was for fucking someone who was an anti-vaxxer to fucking come and give their thoughts, because I want to hear from someone who
if you wanted that, you should have told me to do that, because I could have kept my asshole on and I would have did it. I could have pretended to be an anti-vaxxer all night.
Oh man. Oh my god.